What is happening, guys? Members only MLB Thursday, July 22nd. Clearly, it's just me solo, so let's get after it. Let me pull up DraftKings, so give me a minute, guys. We got a nice little 8-game slate to talk about. I like slates this size. Excited to get after it. All right, 1 second. I should be good to roll. And let's get it. Alrighty, so pitching options, pretty top heavy tonight. I think the top two guys are the top two. The top two guys are the top two pitchers on the slate. Walker Buehler. I've always been a fan. He's in very good form right now. 28 plus in back-to-back starts. One at Coors. I liked him in that start. He's just been good in a get-up spot against the Giants. I like him quite a bit. Same goes for Manaea. He hasn't been awesome lately, so I definitely like Buehler more, and it looks like Manaea is getting more love. There are no splits for Manaea. He's as good as on the road as he is at home. He had a really good start earlier this year in Seattle. Yeah, that 6-0 game, 14 Ks. Seattle's not very good coming back from Coors, especially considering the other options. He's surely in play, if nothing else. Descafani's had a great year, coming off a pretty subpar outing in St. Louis against the Cardinals. Has struggled against the Dodgers this year, has faced them a few times, and I just don't like the matchup for him, so I'm going to steer clear of him here. Maeda, no thanks. He's a little bit too expensive. He is pitching well right now, so I don't think he's like the craziest play in the world, but certainly not excited about it. That's for sure. Zach Thompson, no thanks. Not in this matchup. It looks like he's coming back down to earth a little bit too, so not interested there. Charlie Morton. Yeah, I get Charlie Morton. It looks like he's getting a little bit of love, not coming in as chalk or anything. He's pricey-ish now, so I don't think he's a lock. I expect somewhere around that 17 DK points, 17 to 22, somewhere around there. So I think he's fine. I don't love him, but I don't mind him either. Alzolay, no thank you. We've seen Alzolay has decent upside when he's pitching well, but that's not often enough. He's not in good form right now, so that's going to be a no for me. Kim, the Cubs strike out a lot. He's been decent, but now he's more expensive, so no thanks. Hard to like any of these guys over Blake Snell, and I don't even like Blake Snell. Blake Snell has not been good on the road. It looks like he's continuing to get love. The more love he gets, the more I like Miami's offense. Snell is just not a guy I'm afraid to pick on, especially when he's on the road. His home and road numbers are quite a bit different. He's awful on the road. So give me some Miami bats over Snell. I get it at that price, but not for me. Flexen, Ryan's kind of boy this year. Was supposed to pitch yesterday, ended up not coming in. That sucks. He's the starter today. I thought that was weird yesterday. He'd been pitching well. Why would they have him come in at probable long relief? They didn't. So I guess the joke was on me. Flexen is not a guy I've been on, and I'm not going to go here. I just have bad vibes with it. I could see Oakland getting to him here, and it looks like they're coming in pretty under-owned. If you like him, though, I get it. Montgomery, no thanks. Right in the same spot we just saw him in. Not looking at Montgomery here. Much more interested in the Boston side. Heaney, we know this. We've read the book with Heaney before. His game log is nothing special at all. Much more mediocre than anything else. But he's also got upside mixed in there because he can strike out a lot of guys. He's getting, I think, quite a bit of love. Yeah, he's getting a decent amount of love. Pitching is pretty spread out, so I don't love Heaney. I hardly ever use him. I doubt this is the slate for it for me personally. Coutinho, no, he doesn't throw enough. Well, yeah, he is fully stretched out now. He's just not really good enough. Cleveland is a good spot. It's really the spot, the price tag, but I don't feel good about it at all. Quantrill, coming off a good start in Oakland. He looked good there. Tampa does strike out a lot. I'm not interested here. I'd be having to make a ton of lineups, but I imagine Tampa gets a lot of love, so it is some leverage there. Matt Moore, no thank you, and Tanner Houck, no thank you. So, yeah, ideally looking to spend up here. I don't know how feasible it is, but I know there's a couple of cheaper bats I like. Buehler's a lock for me. And then, man, I'd like to get. I don't even love Mania, but that's ideally where I'd go. It's hard to get there, but we'll see how offenses break out. So Atlanta and Philly, you got Atlanta against Matt Moore. They're obviously in play here. They got a couple of guys that are going to be chalky and for good reason. Ozzie Albies, who just crushes lefties, 4,100. I think you just lock them in your cash games and fade your own risk in tournaments. Moore has been bad against lefties, so interested in EVP. EVP. So they don't have much against. You don't mind. Well, obviously, you're not going to mind using guys against Matt Moore. They're going to get love. Freeman, I'm not sure. Well, he'll probably get love because the stack is popular, but in a lefty-on-lefty matchup, people might avoid that. Swanson's going to be at the top of the lineup. All these guys are in play. They'll probably have a couple cheap bats in the outfield. So I don't mind the stack at all. Probably not where I go, though, even though I completely understand it. Albies is my favorite piece. And then Philly against Matt Moore, I don't think it's a slate for it. Not too interested in Philly here. Braves have an awful bullpen, though, I'll say that. San Diego, Miami. This is a game I think we could see some runs. San Diego always in play because they're amazing. Tatis will get love because he's one of, if not the best player in baseball. Crushed it yesterday, even in a 7-inning game. If you want to get to these guys, do your thing. I mean, they can crush in big ballparks, so it's a little riskier, but that will keep their ownership down. And then Miami, I mentioned it. If Snell is getting love, I like the Miami side much more. A little bit pricier than I would like. These guys aren't necessarily hot, but Adam Duvall always has big time upside. I might just avoid this game entirely, but you could, definitely do worse in tournaments than stacking up the Miami side. One second. All righty. New York and Boston, definitely a game with some offense. So I like the Yankees here. Tanner Houck, cheapest pitcher on the slate. This is a guy that can definitely get hit. A lefty against a ton of righty power. Their bullpen isn't anything special. I like the Yankees here. So a guy like Stanton at 4,300. We'll just do this as we go along. All right, like Stanton at 4,300. Gleyber Torres at 3,600. He homered yesterday. I like these guys. And in this kind of build, it definitely works. Greg Allen, he's been good recently, switch hitter, so let's plug him in there too. We only have one outfield spot left, which sucks, but it is what it is. And then on the other side of this game, JD Martinez against a lefty at 4,400. Yeah, we'll plug him in here. We'll take Greg Allen out only if we need him because he doesn't necessarily. He's definitely not a must. I'll say that. Bogarts and Devers are expensive. They always are, and that will keep their ownership down. So I like this game for offense. We've seen these teams play a bunch, this year, throughout years past. There's definitely some games, especially in Fenway, that go off. I kind of have that feeling tonight. Gary Sanchez is also expensive, which might keep his ownership down. But I like this whole lineup, so we'll have to wait and see what it looks like. And yeah, but these guys the build. We'll get to a cheap catcher too, and we're money here. All right, so next game is Tampa and Cleveland. Cleveland, nice win for them last. Coming back home with some momentum. They're facing a not great pitcher, so Jose Ramirez being hurt does not help. I'm not interested in Cleveland. I just can't get there. I'd have to make too many lineups for me to want to prioritize stacking them. Tampa, on the other hand, definitely in play against Quantrill. I think that they're owned, but not like chalk, so definitely a good look on the road, guaranteed 9 at bats. Brandon Lau is in a really good spot, very affordable at 4,600. Won't plug him in here. He's a little bit expensive, and we have Albies at 2B, so he's on the short list, no doubt. Not a lock, though. Arozarena looks good right now. Double digits in 3 straight. 2 bombs yesterday, excuse me. He'd be my favorite piece of Tampa, and now he's under 5K, so he makes a lot of sense. Meadows at 4K. Yeah, this whole lineup looks good. So a lot of ways to go tonight, which is nothing unusual with how DK prices stuff. All right, Chicago and St. Louis. So we got Kim against Alzolay. Kim's been good enough. I don't want to use him at 8+K, but I don't really want to pick on him either. Nah. The Cardinals against Alzolay. kind of the same thing. I'm always a sucker for the Cardinals. They've done me well in years past. So if you like Arenado and Goldschmidt, who's been, really good over the past month, I get it, but not where I want to land. Angels and Twins. So this is when I think we could see some kind of sneaky offense. So if you're not spending up on pitching, I think Ohtani is a priority, on the road against a guy that doesn't strike out a lot of guys. I think Ohtani's in a really good spot. And the Angels are an interesting stack. I respect Maeda, but we also know he can get hit. Their offense is pretty good. Fletcher leading off nowadays. Waiting for them to get some guys back, but yeah, Fletcher looks good. He's a nice value. Well, he's not necessarily a value anymore, and he also plays second base, but he'll get no love with Albies a little bit cheaper, which kind of gets me intrigued in tournaments. Then on the Twin side, Heaney's got big-time strikeout upside, but he can also get hit hard. So you got Cruz against the lefty. Kepler homered last night, and he is now homered in back-to-back games. Won't get any love in a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Interesting, if nothing else. The Angels side also Brandon Marsh, one of their top prospects, running a little bit. He's got big power. If I'm stacking the Yankees, I like Greg Allen more, but that's just a one-off. I'm putting Brandon Marsh in this lineup right here. I like him that much as a one-off. All right, Giants and Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are more of like a full stack or nothing for me. We've seen DeSclafani get hit by them. We've also seen him pitch really well this year. So I'm not like going out of my way to stack the Dodgers here. I'm not interested in the Giants. So basically a cross-off except for Bueller. And the Giants stack if you like them. Oakland and Seattle. So not interested in Seattle. Oakland is interesting to me. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop on Flexen. His, behind, if you pull back the curtains a little bit, he's due for some serious regression. And Oakland's an offense I always like. So on the road here, we're not the greatest ballpark, but it's only an 8-game slate. I think these guys are sneaky-ish. Matt Olson, what's he going to come in at like 5% or less at 6K? I like him a lot. Obviously, you have to make some concessions and maybe not spend up at pitching, but I like this lineup. Mitch Moreland probably DHing here. If you're using this type of lineup, play him. Sure, Chapman's expensive. He's only $4,500 now. So, yeah, I like this entire lineup. They're a stack that I'm for sure looking at. Laureano's in good form right now, and he's a guy that's really hot and cold. So when he's going like this, I like him quite a bit. No like crazy cheap guys, but Tony Kemp's pretty cheap. All we have to do here, I don't really want to play Mitch Moreland as a one-off, but you guys get the idea. I like the open stack. Maybe you can't stack them in this lineup, which will probably keep their ownership down. So if I'm finishing off a lineup like this, he is hot right now. If he's in the lineup, he looks good. Ideally, I'd like to spend less, though. I'd rather not use a guy against my own guy. Caratini might be in the lineup. He's 2K. Not that he's anything special, but he's 2K. Sorry, I had my hand covering my mouth. Yeah, let's see. There was Faro, and then there was Vasquez. So we like this game. Put in Vasquez there. Now we got 4K left for the two guys. Tell you what else. The Boston first baseman, Dahlback, doubled and just missed also last night. And then what's his name? Chavis homered. So I don't really want to use these guys, but we like this game. I think you could definitely do worse. So, all right, I'll line up like this. We have 4K left. A bunch of good options like Hosmer, Choi, mentioned Moreland. So let's play Moreland. Now we can play Chapman if we want. So then we get two pieces of Oakland. LeMahieu. Done. So, yeah, a lot of ways to build the night. You don't have to spend all the way up on pitching. And I do like that Oakland stack. So in every line, I don't know if I'm going to do that. But, yeah, I like these 8-game slates. There's not, like, too many landmines you need to avoid. but it's also not like too shallow where everyone's on the same guy. So kind of a perfect sweet spot. I like it a lot. Members only public, free to the public today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. More content, more me, more Ryan. Well, hopefully more Ryan soon. Go check out the DFS5pack.com. And yeah, we'd love to have you over here. Thanks again, guys.